Will be emailed to you directly into your inbox for future use. When it comes to field access, you'll have access to the field after the conclusion of the game and TV broadcast has ended. So please be mindful of that. You will be notified by event staff. Today we'll start with opening comments from Coach Holliday and Coach Tadlock. Coach Holliday, the floor is yours.
Nice to be here. Nice to see you folks out here. We're glad to be in Lubbock facing the Red Raiders, and heck of a ball club that we're up against. And second trip to Lubbock in, I guess, about 6 weeks. So you never know each year the unique circumstances and challenges that you're going to face. And obviously to still be playing this time of year is what we all shoot for. And didn't have to do a whole lot of watching a film to get ready for this series, having already played against these guys and know them well and have great respect for them. So we're glad to be here and looking forward to a great series.
I guess it's my turn. Yes, sir. I guess first, congratulations to Oklahoma State, Josh and his staff and his team. For making the Super Regional and the year they've had a great team, great year. Also, congratulations in the Big 12 tournament. And, as far as Super Regional goes and as far as the weekend series goes, our guys are looking forward to it.
All right, we'll open up the floor to questions for the coaches. Please raise your hand if you have a question, and Ty will bring the microphone over to you.
Coach Holliday, since coming to Lubbock and you guys got swept just over a month ago, what did you really see change in your team going up to sweeping Oregon State, finishing strong, and then ultimately winning the Big 12 championship?
Well, you certainly learn as you go through each season, and I think one of the great strengths of the Big 12 this year in many years has been the quality of play, quality of the players, and the quality of the coaching. And when you come across some of the truly the great teams that you go against, we have a tendency to reveal things in each other that we have to get better at, and you have a tendency to walk away from each weekend having learned something about yourself and the adjustments that are going to be necessary if you want to continue to move forward. And I feel like the Big 12 every weekend this year did that for us, and the trip out here was definitely one of those weekends where we came away from it with a good idea of things we could get better at, a sense of urgency about making those adjustments, and then compliment our players the way they handled it and responded to it. So just part of your season. It's part of the great challenges that Big 12 baseball presents, and it's also part of why I believe if you can survive our conference week in, week out, you'll be prepared for just about anything you're going to see when it comes time to face the whole country. So just another lesson in the season, and we played better. We grew from it. We've pitched awfully good. We've had great relief pitching in recent weeks. And we've had some stretches on offense where we've been pretty good. So just overall growing as a team and learning from the great challenges the schedule presented, and certainly from the quality ball club here. Coach Tadlock and his staff do a great job. They're powerful kids. They got a very diverse pitching staff. They got a very dynamic offense. They can score in a lot of different ways. So just a very good team.
Coach Holliday, you kind of alluded to it. I know everyone's going to be focused on the home run hitting, but just how important is the pitching, especially relief pitching, just for you guys been down the stretch to kind of get you on this run?
Well, we pitched our way here. I mean, we just pitched through a regional tournament where our pitching was fabulous and it was clutch at key times. So obviously it's a whole team effort, but when you're pitching really good and playing clean defense, then you can find a way to score just enough to get through it. We've had games where we've pitched our way to victory. We've had some really balanced games where you would say, man, that was a great 5-4 baseball game with a clutch hit and a big swing. And then we've had a few games along the way where it might have taken 10 or 12 runs to win the game. So that's just the nature of the college game. You got to try to find a way to win each different type of game, whether it's a one-run game, a back-and-forther, or one of those games where you got to rally from behind. That's just the nature of college baseball, kind of Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's just all the days seem to have a different challenge. But I don't think there's any question about it that big-time pitching, really good relief pitching, and quality defense keep you in games. And then from there, you're fighting to get a pitch that you can hit.
This question is for both of you guys because it affects both of you. But I'll start with Coach Holliday. What are your thoughts on facing another Big 12 team in the Super Regional, especially one that you faced just a few weeks ago that you're now having to face for a Super Regional?
I'll let Coach Tadlock answer. He's not getting to do a lot of talking, and I'll answer it after him.
Well, the good thing is he and I get to sit in the dugout, and that's really up to the kids. I mean, I think the kids are excited about the competition, and you know, he said it in his opening statement. I mean, we're both fortunate. We don't take it for granted that we're playing this weekend, and probably you know, at this point, you know, you need to play good baseball. You got to go earn the right to win, whoever you're playing.
I mean, he's exactly right. You know, the body of work in a regular season, we both had 55, 56, whatever number of games it was that were on the record for the NCAA committee to evaluate and seed the teams. And if we happen to be seeded, 8 and 9, and that's how it matched up, then I think that's just the way the course of the season played itself out. I've never been one to get too caught up in a lot of that stuff. I mean, I think from familiarity standpoint, it's unique that you play a team that you're quite familiar with, but at the same time, it's the way it lines up. And so we embrace the opportunity to play. When the pairings came out, you heard there were some SEC schools paired up head-to-head. I believe there's one super regional, is that right, where that actually ended up playing out, Mississippi and Arkansas, I think. Obviously, we're here, so there's another interconference matchup, but I don't know if there were any others. So I guess it's just the way it fell. I really hadn't given a whole lot more thought other than that.
For Coach Tadlock, just kind of the status of the program, the growth you've seen over these last few years. You make the breakthrough to get to Omaha for the first time. Takes a little while to reload to get back there. Now you're going for back-to-back trips to the College World Series, and just the development of the program and what y'all have gotten done to get back into this position.
Well, you got to give credit to our kids and our administration. We've got great support behind us. We all work for a guy that's really easy to work for, in Kirby Holcutt. He's a baseball AD. He believes in college baseball and gives us everything we need to have success. And our staff's done a good job. Bunch of diligent guys like baseball, and we don't ever look at it from a standpoint the way you look at it. We try to put in an honest day's, I don't call it work, but, man, we just go do what we do each day, and fortunate to be where we are.
Coach Holliday, Noah Seifert, what's his progression kind of been like, and how has his role kind of developed from going freshman year to now sophomore year?
Noah Seifert's been he's been a joy to coach. He's an awesome kid. He's had a role for us both on the mound and in the outfield, and pitched quite a bit as a freshman. Has played a little bit more on the position player side this year. He's been a great teammate, a good role player. He's got great positive energy, and right now he's a weapon for us coming off the bench, and we can use him either on the mound or in the outfield. He's a really good runner, so he does a lot of different things for us, and above all else, he's a great kid. He's part of a strong chemistry-driven team.
Coach Tadlock, obviously there's a lot of strengths to the team throughout the year, but what you saw out of the pitching overall to only allow 4 runs in 3 games of a regional last week, how have you really felt like the pitching staff has come along and how they can carry you through to Omaha?
Well, I mean, really all you can do is wake up tomorrow and get ready to play tomorrow. You can't do much about Omaha tomorrow. What we can do is we got one game tomorrow, and the guys have prepared for that. They'll embrace the opportunity to compete tomorrow, and it's a game where you're as good as your next one, and our guys understand that for the most part. I mean, they're amateurs, they're college guys, and there's been some distractions this week, with the draft and all the stuff going on for all these guys, and you hope we've all managed it good, and and they're ready to go, and but you're right. We pitched really good last weekend. All of them threw the ball really well, and I know they've tried to do the best they can this week, getting ready to go.
Have you each decided on your opening night pitcher?
We're going Micah Dallas.
Yeah, this is for Coach Tadlock. On that note, with the pitching, one of the guys talked to Connor Queen. I know he's only made a few relief appearances, but he said that especially this year, or like since he's gotten here to the program, that he's really had to grow up and develop and learn a lot. Just how have you kind of seen him develop over the course of this year with the opportunities he's been given?
Yeah, his fastball command's gotten better. When we evaluated Connor when he was down at Odessa, we felt like he'd get right-handed hitters out right away. I really felt like they didn't, it wasn't going to be an issue. He can go right and left now. He can get right-handed hitters and left-handed hitters. Slider's really good. He's a guy that played some infield as a junior college guy also. He's been in a program. He's played catch with guys with probably more arm strength than him, and it's kind of the big brother effect. I mean, it's one of those deals where you play catch with somebody that throws 94. Eventually, your arms are going to get stronger, especially over a couple years, and you've seen that. I mean, he came in as a guy who was 88, 89 for the most part, and he's touched some fours and maybe even fives at this point, and the slider's 84, 85 some days. And so that's been really fun. That's a natural progression if you got guys around you with arm strength. And you see that with, a bunch of our guys. I mean, that's why you see, a whole bunch of them down there that, got really good arms. They're playing catch with it. It's not any magic formula other than, like I said, you're playing catch with somebody that's stronger than you. And so you got a really good opportunity each day to try to match that guy. And over time, it helps you.
For Coach Tadlock, Tim, thinking back to the start of the season, back in February when your starting rotation, you had Erickson in there quite a bit and Montgomery in there quite a bit. And I guess you're kind of searching for what that right combination of those three were. Did you have any concern in the first half of the season about getting your pitching to the point of doing what they did last weekend, or did you feel like all along the parts were there and it eventually would all come together? It's just kind of figuring it out.
We really like the way those two guys you mentioned that aren't in there, threw the ball really well early in the season. I mean, we were talking about Erickson yesterday because it was the last day of the draft. I mean, he threw in Frisco, I want to say against Nebraska, and was 90-93 for 6 innings. Still was 90-93 in the 6th inning, and was really proud of the way he prepared and got ready to throw during the season. Mason Montgomery threw the ball really well for us on Sundays and put us in position to win most of the games he pitched. And but as far as concern goes, I mean, really, we really. You probably ought to. I wouldn't say we were concerned because you can go the bullpen if you need to, and we knew we had some pieces down there that, if we got them innings, had a chance to develop, and those guys have.
And follow up regarding the draft, and we were talking out there with Gabe and John and Josh all about their draft experiences on the week they're getting ready to go to Omaha. Do you have any problem with the timing of the draft? Or do you think there's any alternative when might be a better time so that college players in the postseason don't have that on their mind in addition to trying to win big games? And
these
they
guys
can chime in too if you want.
These guys, I mean, they have school on their mind throughout the whole year. I mean, you're talking about something they've dreamed about their whole life. It's not, I mean, it's our favorite time of year. You're talking about all these guys getting a Christmas present when they get that opportunity. They get an opportunity to go do something they've dreamed about for a long time. And Major League Baseball, there's a lot of revenue there. And they've been having that draft the first week in June for a long time. And that's when it falls best for them. And college baseball is working really good with Major League Baseball now. I mean, it's a really good partnership, And I think it's something that I think our guys embrace the that, hey, yeah, we're practicing and my name be getting called, or I mean in life you got to deal with more than one thing at a time quite a bit. And I mean these guys, they're not professionals yet, and even when they're professionals, they're going to be moms or they're going to be dads, and they're going to have to deal with stuff. So it's fine.
So you think it kind of adds to it more so than being a distraction?
I don't see anything. I don't see any problem with it. I think it's awesome that these guys get an opportunity, and we're always excited for them to get that opportunity.
I couldn't imagine Baker Mayfield going to the sideline calling timeout in the college football playoff and finding out he just got drafted, or someone shooting a three-pointer in the Final Four finding out he just got drafted. That's essentially what was happening on Monday night in the first round. I think trying to time it to where kids are not in the field of play, actually playing a game and looking in the stands to see if they got drafted would be a compromise. I agree with what Coach is saying about these kids have to handle multiple things going on. He's right. But when the first and second rounds are going on and there's kids actually playing games and you got parents that are holding phones, and it's just I got to believe there's a way to find a date that there's not actually games being played or players playing games, checking their phones, or to me that would be a fair compromise to try to do it when there's no games actually going on, and then like he said, deal with it. It's a good thing for most of the kids. The ones that are disappointed, you have to turn the page quickly and move on if you're still playing and embrace the chance to play college baseball. But yeah, I find that dynamic of the draft occurring while games are being played. You wouldn't see that in any other major sport.
Coach Holliday, after your first time you came to Lubbock, then the regional wasn't even in Star, being in Oklahoma City and having to go to that final game, can your team use any of that to help them this weekend with just some of the stuff they've had to face recently?
I mean, we played in front of our fans. We played in our state, which was awesome. We played, in the great state of Oklahoma in front of Oklahoma State fans, and we played in a nice venue. And we were glad to be there. We were glad that we were able to be 60 miles from campus, even though it wasn't our home field. We made it feel like home, and it's a tough regional. The teams that were in it were very gritty. We faced some very determined teams. They pushed us hard. So you take the success and the moments that the kids experienced as a team with you, and you move forward. And I think that's the biggest thing is some of the memories that were made during that regional tournament. Gave some kids some great confidence in themselves and confidence in their group. So you just continue to move forward. As Coach said, you get to play tomorrow. Tomorrow's game is really independent of any of the other ones, as long as you prepare correctly and play the right way. So I just think there's moments that kids discover that give them great confidence in themselves that they can build on.
Coach Holliday, your team's got a really good record, I guess, since the last time y'all played Texas Tech. Was that a turning point for y'all this season, or what have y'all done really well over this last month or 6 weeks that's enabled you to be in this position?
Well, we were playing pretty decent before we came out here, and we got out here, and these guys played great. They played great. Day after day, we ran head-to-head with them, and they played great baseball against us, and they had a great comeback on Sunday where we were ahead, I think, into the 6th or 7th inning, and they had a couple kids get some big clutch hits, and it's just good baseball. You tip your cap to them and say, hey, they were better than us on these 3 days, and you go back to work on yourself and just try to play better baseball, and that's what we did. So, I don't know, definitely a turning point for sure, because anytime you get beat, you got to see what your response is, and if your response is correct, you have a chance to move forward, and if your response is not positive, then yeah, you could find yourself going the wrong direction. So our kids just responded well to being challenged. But I mean, if you play and coach long enough, there's some games you run into someone, they play well, and you got to tip your cap to them. Say they're better than me today. And then you got to work on cleaning up your game and improving so that you can be better next time out. So that's the way we viewed the season, and certainly some of the big series and great challenges we faced during the season.
Coach Tadlock, after a couple of games off, you put Dylan Noisy back in the lineup. I guess how did he respond to that? In terms of his health?
He got through that game. He's doing a lot better. I mean, the not playing on Monday was definitely good for us. and so he's had another. He's had how many days that is to get healed up. He was moving around good today. Moving around good.
Yeah. It's,
Any more questions for Coach Holliday and Coach Tadlock? All right, thank you, coaches.
Appreciate it.